Have you ever just stopped and wondered what secrets are lying at the bottom of the ocean? We usually think of our history as something that's written in books or, buried under the ground. But what if I told you that some of our biggest, most profound stories aren't buried in dirt at all? They're submerged in water, just waiting for us to find them.
Just to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about, get this. It's estimated there are over 3 million shipwrecks scattered across the world's ocean floors. That is an absolutely unbelievable library of human history, everything from ancient trading vessels to warships from the world wars. Every single one is a time capsule.
But honestly, as incredible as that number is, the shipwrecks, they're really just the beginning of the story. What's hidden beneath the waves goes so much deeper than that.
Yep, you heard that right. Entire worlds. We're talking sprawling prehistoric landscapes, magnificent port cities that were once the centers of civilization. And look, this isn't stuff of legend like Atlantis. These are very real places that have been rediscovered.
So our first stop is a world that wasn't lost to some single dramatic catastrophe, but to the slow, relentless rise of the sea. We're going to the lost land of Doggerland.
That's right. An area that we now just see as a body of water separating Great Britain from the mainland. Well, it was once a huge populated landmass called Doggerland. This was a heartland of Mesolithic Europe, totally rich with valleys and rivers and marshlands. So for thousands of years, people lived here. They thrived in Doggerland. But then, as the last ice age wound down, the melting ice sheets started this slow, creeping process of flooding. And then came the final blow. Around 1650 BCE, a colossal underwater landslide off the coast of Norway triggered a massive tsunami that just wiped out whatever was left. It's a really powerful, ancient lesson about the very real impact of climate change. Okay, so let's jump from a lost prehistoric world to the absolutely incredible rediscovery of not one, but 2 legendary Egyptian cities that had completely vanished from history.
So for centuries, ancient texts kept mentioning these 2 great port cities, Thonis and Heracleion. And scholars, they debated, they drew maps, they searched for them, but they always assumed they were 2 totally different places. The big mystery was, where in the world were they?
And then, in the year 2000, an underwater archaeologist named Frank Godio and his team made just a mind-blowing discovery. After finding the ruins of a temple, he described uncovering a, quote, beautiful stele in pristine condition.
Now, a stele, what is that? Well, you can basically think of it as an official stone bulletin board from the ancient world. Pharaohs and rulers would have their decrees carved right into them to make them the law of the land. And the inscription on this particular stele, oh man, it was a historical jackpot. It gave a direct order to put the stele up in the city of Thonis, but the temple where they found it was in the city they had already identified as Heracleion. And just like that, the puzzle was solved. Thonis and Heracleion weren't 2 cities at all. They were one and the same, just the Egyptian and Greek names for the same busy, bustling metropolis.
Discoveries like this, they totally beg the question, how on earth do you even begin to explore a city that's buried under the sea?
Well, it's one of the most challenging frontiers of exploration out there. It really requires this unique blend of science, cutting-edge technology, and just sheer grit.
And make no mistake about it, underwater archaeology is exponentially harder than what archaeologists do on land. Divers are constantly battling poor visibility, totally unpredictable currents, and the huge costs of all the specialized gear. It's kind of like trying to solve a puzzle in the dark during an earthquake and with a really, really tight budget.
And just trying to document these finds, that's an art form all on its own. To get the kind of stunning footage that we see, cinematographers have to master skills like buoyancy so they can float effortlessly. They have to use these specialized cameras, and they have to understand how light just completely behaves differently underwater, where colors literally just vanish the deeper you go. But here's the thing, the better we get at finding these incredible sites, the more we expose them to a whole host of modern dangers. This amazing piece of our heritage, it's fragile, and it is under threat.
So, this image here, this represents the ideal. This is what you want to see. It's a scientific diver meticulously mapping and documenting a site, preserving that historical knowledge for every single one of us. And then there's this. This is the grim reality of the threat. Instead of that careful study, you have industrial dredges, just ripping historical sites to pieces, not for knowledge, but for profit. The difference here could not be more stark.
Scientific archaeology, its goal is to preserve history for all of us. Commercial exploitation, let's call it what it is, treasure hunting, it's all about profit. It rips precious objects out of their context, completely destroying the very story they could tell, and once that historical context is gone, believe me, it is gone forever.
And it's not just the treasure hunters. You've got illegal looting, destructive fishing practices like bottom trawling, massive coastal construction projects, and even the changing chemistry of the ocean because of climate change. All of these things are putting our shared heritage in grave danger.
So, after seeing all of this, the central question really becomes, why does any of it matter? I mean, why should we care about some old pots or ruins at the bottom of the sea?
Well, it matters because the ocean is, hands down, the world's largest museum. It holds the story of our collective past, of trade, of migration, conflict, and adaptation. These sites, they teach us about the real-world effects of climate change, like what happened to Doggerland. And they reveal just how interconnected cultures were, like in Thonis Heracleon. It's not just a story, it's our story.
Ultimately, these sunken worlds are our shared legacy. They remind us where we all came from, and they offer crucial lessons for our future. They are a fragile, absolutely irreplaceable record of the human journey. So the real question isn't just about what else is down there, it's what are we, all of us, willing to do to protect it.